Once again, I'm gonna let her sit down and I introduce her again so she to be as if she wasn't here before. Let's do some acting. No, Aisha, they don't know. Sit down. You're not here. Oh wow, we have somebody else that's coming to speak to us. She's never been here before. Go with me. It's so good to see her. She just walked in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, OMG, help me put your hands together and welcome as she comes to give us this talk, Aisha Mumuni, the Chief Digital Officer, MTN. Woo! And yeah, so good to see her. She looks so everywhere you go. How does she look? That's it. I love it.
Thank you very much, Chigwell. At this rate, I'm going to become a comedian, take your job from me. Well, thank you very much. I woke up with a headache this morning, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it. But then I stopped at the office briefly and looked at my presentation, because I actually do have a presentation, but I didn't send it. And as I was reviewing the presentation, I started getting excited because I am passionate, absolutely passionate about the creative industry. I'm going to try and go through the speech, but I will probably be breaking off because I'm going to infuse so much of this passion. You won't miss it. You won't be able to miss it. But let me start. So, good morning, distinguished guests, creative visionaries, partners, and friends. Today, as we talk about powering Africa's creative future, I invite you to imagine how our creativity can transform not just lives, but entire economies across Africa. Truly, absolutely, this is not part of the speech, and you'll know when it's not part of the speech. It's an honor to stand before you today, not just as MTN Nigeria's Chief Digital Officer, but as someone who is deeply passionate about the power of creativity to transform lives, industries, and nations. I want to thank you, Dr. Matthews, for bringing all of us together, and I want to thank each of you for the energy, for the ideas, for the dreams, for the things that you do to bring Nigeria's creative system to the world. I know that for many of us, creativity is not just a job. It's a calling. It's the spark that keeps us up at night, the drive that pushes us to try again after every setback, and the force that connects us to our communities and culture. Today, I'm going to talk about something that we keep leaving out of the conversation. How do we turn passion into profit? How do we move from inspiration to income, from dreams to a sustainable business, from talent to true impact? Quick story. I went to school in America, and professor was in class, and full class. And we were talking about innovation of something, I can't remember what it was. And professor asked, which movie industry in the world is the largest by volume? There were 3 or 4 Nigerians in my class, and all of us looked at each other. You know the answer, right? Yeah? What is it? It is Nollywood. It is Nollywood. By volume, not by value. And that was telling. Anyway, so the 3 Nigerians in class are dodging because we don't want anybody to call us out. And everybody's going Bollywood and Hollywood. And then when our professor was tired of playing with us, he said, it's Nollywood. By volume, it is Nollywood. I work with musicians. She's gone. I work with musicians, Nigerians, and some of my team members are here. Every time an artist, one of the big three, releases a new album or a single or song, I get so frustrated because I cannot imagine why this talent that we have here cannot be incubated and monetized from here. Why they have to go to Apple Music? Why they have to go to Spotify? Why can't they release their singles, their exclusives in Nigeria for Nigerians? Afrobeats is huge. It was I think in 2023, 2022, it was our largest export, Afrobeats. Not oil, Afrobeats. As I said, I think when I was sitting down, I said, all of us are creators. Every single person here, myself included. I don't know what I'm creating, but we're all creators. And we should be able to protect our lives with that creativity. We should be able to live good lives with that creativity. And that's what we're trying to do in MTN Nigeria. I know that some people might have a difference of opinions, but that is what we're trying to do in digital services, MTN Nigeria. How can we get your content? How can we aggregate it? How can we distribute it? How can we monetize it? How can you generate income from that content? And that is why Dr. Matthews has invited me to speak today. So let's start with passion. Passion is the heartbeat of the creative industry. You have to be passionate. When, I don't know what to call you, sir, I'll just say RMD because that was what I grew up calling you. When he said that he has been acting for 41 years, I thought to myself, that's passion. There's nothing else. That's what they call passion. I'm not 41, but I'm close to 41. He has been acting all my life. How many people can say that? When Tonto was talking just now, she almost wanted to, I thought she was going to break the microphone. Passion. So, that's the first step. Passion. Do you really have that drive, that burning desire to be the best at what you... Forget you, I'm not going to use you to do an example. The number of places I've seen you doing what you do, right? It's clear. So first question you need to ask yourself, and I haven't started, is do you really have the passion? Do you really want to wake up in the morning, every morning for 41 years, doing the same thing? Why? Why? If you can't answer that question, then we have to talk. It is the heartbeat of the creative industry. It is what makes a songwriter spend hours in the studio. When we did something, name tunes, color tunes, so I had unique color tunes done for me by the late Sound Sultan, by Nice, all sorts of artists. The amount of time that they spend in the studio for one song, where are they? Waje? You go on the radio and you hear a song and it's a banger. They're here. Ask them how long it takes to get one song right. How long? I've seen the movie industry at work. Kunle Afolayan is a friend of mine, and can you do it? Do you have what it takes? Are you passionate about it? And passion is not just about the creative industry. Of course, that is what drives it. But I said I had a headache this morning. The thought of speaking to people about content creation, aggregation, monetization, what that can do for this country, it took the headache away. And that's passion, right? From Lagos to Nairobi to Dakar to Johannesburg, Africa's heartbeat is undeniable. It really is. And when I think about Africa Rising, what we're doing now, being an African can have its ups and downs. But when I think about Africa Rising, what young African talent is doing, and old talent, due respect, is doing on the world stage, you do your shoulders up, you booger. You must, because we're special. We really are. From Afrobeats to Nollywood, from African fashion to digital content, our creativity is shaping global culture and inspiring the world. Recently, a musician released an American musician, singer. She released a single, and my auntie calls it social media, was on fire with this song. And I sent the video to my team members on WhatsApp. I said, Ciara just released an Afrobeat song. Discuss. Ciara is an American singer-songwriter. The song is Afrobeat. We're doing something right, guys. We're doing something right. And you should give yourselves a round of applause for that. You really are. Well done. Nigeria is blessed with an abundance of passion, right? Now, how do you what are the challenges with turning this passion into profit? There are many. Infrastructure is a problem, right? And when I say infrastructure, I don't mean power, roads, transport. I mean studios. I mean education. I mean learning. We don't have those things in Nigeria, right? Policy, I think it was Chigol that mentioned it. No, it was Omaomi that said she wanted to sit with the policy makers. Policy needs to drive this industry. We have to have policies that facilitate the growth of movies or music or videos. We have to have that enabling environment, that business environment that will make someone invest millions of dollars in a world-class studio. It starts with policy, right? Education. But you see, the thing about education is that with the internet, you really have no excuse anymore. When I saw a tweet a few days ago that said that the computers that sent the first rocket to the moon, spaceship to the moon, would fill maybe a hall this size. But the devices in your hands today, and all of you have phones, are more powerful than those computers. So when it comes to the education part of it, you really have no excuse. Limited financing, always a problem. But what I tell my team members is, even if financing is limited, why don't we try and break the business model? We know how the industry works, right? Invest in a property, whether it's music or games or music, and then throw it to the market to see how it does. Why don't we make it a business, right, of making sure that whatever we're producing is going to do well in the market? And we know how to do that, because it's just by asking people, what do you want to see? What do you want to hear? But all these things are not insurmountable. We actually really see them in you guys. All the stuff that you guys are doing online. Passion alone is not enough. It's not easy. And many creatives face real challenges in monetizing their work, in protecting their intellectual property, navigating contracts, and finding the right partners. At MTN, I promise you, we see this every day. Our platforms connect millions of Nigerians to the creative industry. So when there's a problem, we know. And everything I've mentioned just now not knowing the business side of things, not protecting your intellectual property. These are real problems, and I'll get to them in a minute. So how do we move? Let me quickly just go into how we move so that I don't spend too much time because it's looking long. Protect your work. How do we move from passion to profits? Protect your work. You must have the right. And it's a very simple thing. It's as simple as writing a letter to yourself with that work. There's a copyright commission that issues permits, but I'm not sure what sort of permits they issue. But you do have to protect your work. How will you but you need to understand your rights. The music industry in particular is very, very convoluted. There's the singer, there's the songwriter, there's the instrumentalist. You need to understand what your rights are in that piece of work that you're doing, okay? Get your contracts in order. Dr. Matthews said something today, I was like, eh? She said an MOU is not legally binding. I've worked for maybe 23 years doing this thing. I did not know that. So it is important that you understand what these contracts are about and then work with trusted partners. Dr. Matthews also said something, and I think what she said was that every single speaker today had spoken about trust, honesty. If you cannot be trusted, why do you think anybody is going to work with you? But beyond that, you need to find partners that you can trust, right? Choose collaborators and distributors who value transparency and compliance. By the way, MTN is the #1 most compliant company in Nigeria. I had to put that in. We invest in better systems to ensure that every creative partner is protected. I remember once speaking to Dr. Oyebanjo, who you might all know as Dibanj, and I said, Oga, why aren't you checking the price of your music? And he said, Mama, I'm releasing so many songs per second, how many of them am I going to check? I said, but you will get robbed if you are not working with trusted partners, if you do not understand your rights, if you do not know what is in your contracts, you will get robbed. So you have to do those 3 things to protect your work. Now, keep learning. This industry is changing by the second. It really is. Have you seen some of those videos online that people are using phones to record? I started working in a telecommunications company in industry in 2003. You remember the best phone? It was a Nokia 3310. It did not have a camera. It didn't. Today, the phones can do what these cameras are doing very easily. So how are you going to keep up if you do not keep learning? It is always evolving, this industry. A few years ago, we didn't have wedding planners. A few years ago, we didn't have comedians. No, we didn't. And I'm talking years. We didn't have comedians. In fact, when they started comedy, we used to laugh. Is that a job? But here we are. Now people want I'm sure there are some people here that want to be comedians. So this creative industry is changing at the speed of light. If you stop learning, you will get left behind very quickly. New technologies, new platforms, new methods, new mechanisms for disseminating content are on the rise. Artificial intelligence is coming. When I was looking for pictures for my presentation yesterday, I went on Pixabay for free Nigerian pictures. They're all artificially generated. They're all AI generated. So photographers, you have to up your game. Invest in your own growth. These workshops, I mean, I don't know how Dr. Matthew did it, but kudos to you, ma'am. I thought I was coming to give a speech, but I've learned so much. It's unbelievable. In 2 hours, you attend these sort of workshops. They're not trivial. A 41-year-old veteran of Nollywood has spoken. There are 2 musicians sitting here that you can speak to, network with after if you're a budding musician. Chigirl is very, very open. She will tell you anything you need to know about breaking into the community. But it's at these sort of things that you can make those connections. So invest in your own growth. Understand digital platforms. This is the future. These digital platforms. I know a woman, she's 74 years old. She had knee surgery. And her physiotherapist told her to start exercising. So she started working out. And she got herself a gym instructor, personal trainer. He came to her house and was recording videos of their training sessions and posting them because obviously he wanted business. And BBC Africa saw one of his videos and said, can we interview her? And he asked her, can BBC, can they interview you? And she said, okay. Today she has 167 followers on Instagram. And all of us were like, and she happens to be my mother. All of us were like, wow, what is this? This is a woman that doesn't pick up her phone when we call her. Talk less of use it to record video. And maybe she started at the beginning of this year. She started at the beginning of this year. Now, she's 74. Now she's bought her camera. She has her space in the house where she does her videos, and she's posting every day. And she's 74. What's your excuse? What's your story? She has figured out that, okay, when I post my dancing videos, I get a lot of engagement. But when I post those exercise videos, nobody talks to me. So guess what? She got herself a dance instructor. So she doesn't know I'm using her. I'm going to eventually confess. I'll confess later today. I'll tell her I used you. But the point is, she's 74. She's learning every day. Every day. She's a lawyer. She'd never have considered herself a creative. But she's learning every day. Every day she's calling me to tell me, I have a new dance step. I know how to use my camera. I know how to use this. I can edit the video by myself. Please, I need a laptop. She's 74. So you need to keep improving your craft. You can't stop, okay? Stay ahead of the curve. The world is moving so fast. But all these technologies, all these emerging technologies, all these tools, all these resources, they're available on your phone. As long as you have mobile data, you have access to the information. Build trust. This is number 3. Build trust. Profit follows trust. When your audience, your partners, and your clients know that you operate with integrity, doors will open. Because we're living in very perilous times. It's very difficult to trust. But when your partners know that you will do what you said you will do when you said you will do it, you've put yourself on a platform slightly above the rest. It's very important. Dr. Suleiman spoke about it. RMD spoke about it. Dr. Matthews spoke about it. Honesty, trust, integrity. When you cannot be trusted to deliver on what you said you would deliver, nobody's going to work with you. It's very simple. It's very clear. So be transparent. Share your process, your rates, your expectations. What you expect. And you see, the problem that creatives in particular have is you are so busy being creative that you forget about the business side of things. And then you get cheated when people cheat you. So be transparent, deliver on your promises. I said it already. Reputation is everything. And RMD said it. Reputation is everything in the creative world. One missed deadline, one broken promise, that's it, it's gone, it's all done. Choose partners who share your values. You see, this thing about values, I'm giving a talk tomorrow about values. It's very, very important. You have to know what you stand for. Because if you are here as a creative standing for integrity and transparency and, upliftment and empowerment and so on and so forth, and you have someone as a partner who's only interested in profits, it's not going to work. But you need to know who you are first, and then select partners that drive those values, that will help you enforce those values. Otherwise, that transparency that you've built up, gone, trust, gone, everything gone. So it is critical that you choose the right partner. We have, I'm not sure how many partners now, but they're licensed by the Communications Commission. Maybe about 120. And we try to sit down with them every quarter to tell them what we're doing. About 120. Every quarter, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do, this is how we did with what we said we're going to do with you, and so on and so forth. And these are the people that interface directly with the creative industry. We do this so that when they're interfacing with you, they're exhibiting the exact same transparency. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes we miss it, but we continue to do it. And MTN Digital Services in particular is known in the industry for being transparent, for doing what we said we would do. If MTN operates that way, why can't you just deliver on your promises? Collaboration and network. It's funny, eh? We all said it. You can't go it alone. If you want to go fast, that's what that proverb actually is. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. You can't do it by yourself. How? Do you know how to operate the camera while you're doing the acting and writing the script by yourself? No. So you need to find like-minded people. You need to find people who have who share the same values as yourself to collaborate with. You need to network. I hope this is not the last one. Just don't come and meet us, Dr. Matthew. I hope you will have this. This will be an ongoing opportunity for people to get together, to collaborate, to network. Build your network, attend these industry events, join creative communities, connect with mentors. This 74-year young lady has been, she's a grandma, for crying out loud. She's a grandma, but she's getting invitations from the creative industry, either to exercise with her, or to dance with her, or to act with her. They're out there, but they have to see consistency. They have to see that drive, that passion, that excellence to keep doing what you're doing, even when you don't want to do it. That is when these people will connect with you. Okay? Share ideas and resources. Don't be afraid to collaborate with others, even those outside your field. I'm a telecommunications engineer. Why am I working with the creative industry? Because it's huge. It represents an opportunity for upliftment, for empowerment, for 220 million Nigerians. Of course, I'm vested in it, absolutely vested in it. But I can't do it. I'm not a creative like you guys are. So I'm here to say that we're ready to collaborate. We're open for business with the creative industry. Okay? Support each other. I mean, isn't it uncanny, Dr. Matthews? We've said, Dr. Suleiman said it. RMD said it. Now I'm saying it. You have to support each other. You cannot go it alone. Okay? Some of my proudest moments have come from seeing musicians grow. Harry's song came to MTN in 2008, I think, and we asked him to do a Nelson Mandela song, and he blew. We ran Project Fame, and just own it with your full chest. Just own it with your full chest. We ran Project Fame. Waje was one of our students. I'm not sure Maumi was. She wasn't. But Inyanya, Praise, Chidima, can't remember, Bisola Ayilala came out of Project Fame. We're working on the next Afrobeat star. So it's almost like Project Fame, but with a focus on Afrobeats. We also have a property called Best of the Streets. We go to local government areas to see the talent that is there, take them on, clean them up, and then make them bloom. We work on that with Dibanj in particular. He's been most helpful in that regard. So when I see people that came to us in MTN starting to export their music, it is truly, it is my passion. I'm sorry. It is my passion. Digital. We're living in a digital age. There are about 190 million mobile phones in Nigeria. Everybody has a mobile phone. The first thing you do when you wake up is to check your mobile phone, whether it's Instagram, Twitter. You cannot not be using these digital tools. The barriers to entry have never been easier. The smartphone started at, $500? I apologize, $500. But we in MTN specifically, are looking for a $20 smartphone. We had a bit of a challenge with the devaluation, but we have restarted the conversation. $20 is what? About 30,000 naira? About 30,000 naira. So you can get a phone. Once you have a phone, what's your excuse? I saw an app yesterday that allows singer-songwriters upload their songs to the app. They pay for keeping the app there, but that app then publishes their songs on all the other music streaming platforms. So digital platforms are your stage. You need to use them, whether it's music streaming, online galleries, or social media. You can reach audiences from around the world from your living room. Monetization is important, and there are many methods to monetization. There's ads, there's merchandise, you can earn from downloads, you can earn from streams, and there's live events, so much more. So, I've been told to wrap it up. Call to action and inspiration. What does all of this mean for you? It means, for me, that your passion is just as powerful as you are. But it's even more powerful when it's protected, when it's nurtured, and when it's connected to the right opportunities. Policymakers must build enabling frameworks, and investors must take bold bets on African creativity. Educators must merge art with entrepreneurship, and creatives, you must keep telling your stories, but also claim your value. Thank you very much.